Welcome to our demonstration of the Zyconix Active Directory Synchronizer for HP TRIM and HP Records Manager. In this demonstration, we've got a couple of data sets that have been loaded initially. They've both got the same locations loaded from Active Directory. And now we're going to add a new user and see that flow through to the data sets. So we'll head back to Active Directory and we'll come to Braidwood and we'll add a new group first up. We'll call it PS TRIM2. In our XML file, we've determined that anything beginning with PS is going to be a position group. So we'll put PS2, we'll make it a member of one of our groups, GP Group 1A, and we'll add a couple of, wrong way around, remove that. Although we could have done that in Active Directory, TRIM would have spat the dummy with that because we would have been trying to put a group inside a position, and that's not allowed in TRIM. We'll add some users. I think we've got a couple of Freds, Fred Bassett and Freddie Fittler, and they can be members of our new group. Okay, and now just for fun, we'll add a new user as well. And we will call him who's topical at the moment? Tony Abbott. Haven't got a Tony yet. Okay, there's Tony, and we'll make him a member of our new group that we've just created, which is PS TRIM2, and we'll make him a member of PS Position 1 Canberra as well. Okay, now if we go back to our client, we have installed the Zyconix tools, and they include the manual tools Check XX AdSync and XX Manage Sync. These are that you'll be using while you're getting everything bedded in with the XML before you get the service running. So we'll run the synchronizer, which goes off to Active Directory and gets all of our information into our SQL admin database. It also gives us the opportunity of doing some auto checks, but we don't want to do them now. So we'll just finish him, and we'll come into XX Manage Sync and see that our changes are here. There's PS TRIM2, not in TRIM yet. Tony Abbott, not in TRIM. So we're currently connected to TRIM2. We're going to manage updates and add our new group and add our new user, update all, and once that's done, we'll be presented with the new relationships. We don't get the relationships until we've got all our users in there. So we'll update all of those. Finished updates. If we come to TRIM2, do a refresh, we'll find that we now have Tony Abbott. He's now a member of the groups that we've made him a member of. We have our PS TRIM2 with the couple of Freds and Tony Abbott in there. So that's all looking pretty tickety-boo. Now, in TRIM1, we might decide that we don't actually want Tony Abbott in our TRIM1 dataset. So when we come back here and change our data set to trim 1, we're going to set Tony up to be ignored. We only have to select him once, and we'll say disconnect or ignore checked nodes. And that means for this data set, Tony's not going to be loaded in the future. We can undo that if we want. So Tony now appears with a big cross. He's being ignored. It's very unpleasant, isn't it? But never mind. Right, now we'll manage updates. So now we've just got one user to add, which is PS Trim 2. So we'll add him in. And we'll update the relationships. It's all finished. If we come to Trim 2 and do a refresh, no Tony Abbott, but we do have PS Trim 2 with our 2 users in there. So we've got 2 different data sets having a slightly different set of users, and once we get the service up and running, as long as Tony Abbott remains ignored in Trim 1, he won't be loaded in. And you can do that with groups and positions as well as individual users. Okay, that is all for this demonstration. Thank you.